What's up, guys? In today's episode of Are You Saturated, we're going to be talking about whether or not the croissant diet is healthy. So I've gotten a lot of questions about this, and so let's just dive in. First of all, this diet was conceived by Brad Marshall at fireinabottle.net. So if you haven't read about the croissant diet, please go check it out from the source. Brad was the one that came up with this, and basically he came up with it, to the best of my knowledge, as a mechanism for weight loss. So I don't believe he ever said that this was an optimal health diet, and I've never felt that it was either. I wanted to try something different, and so I did, and I kind of followed it to the spirit of it, which was basically based off of the way the French people ate in the late 60s, early 70s. They were eating a lot of refined carbohydrates and a lot of saturated fat and virtually no vegetable oil in their diet. And they were thin and they had very low incidence of cardiovascular disease. So I thought, hey, it's worth a shot. I was nervous, honestly, when I first started. I thought, this may not work. Maybe it's not the healthiest thing, because like everyone else, we've been told our whole lives that saturated fat is bad for us. And I'm not sure that I really believed that vegetable oil was good for us, but I didn't know that it was as bad as I know it is now. So the main thing, this is the the croissant diet in a nutshell. Eliminate all vegetable oils from your diet and increase the amount of healthy, long-chain saturated fat. And that's it. There are no other components, really. Those are the mechanisms. Get rid of the polyunsaturated fat, the vegetable oils. I use those terms, multiple terms interchangeably. Vegetable oils, seed oils, industrial oils, toxic garbage oils, PUFAs. That just all is vegetable oils lumped together. And then saturated fat, and we're talking about long chain saturated fat predominantly for the mechanism that Brad discovered. So anyway, I don't believe it was intended to be a prescription for absolute health. I never thought that. I didn't. That's not why I was doing it. I was doing it to lose weight. I do think there are health benefits to this diet, though, and hear me out. This is what I'm talking about. I don't ever recall Brad presenting it as some healthy way to eat. In fact, in the beginning, I was a little bit worried that it wasn't. But I kept reading the science behind it on Brad's website, which you can do too, and I was convinced that it might work. So I did an experiment of one, just me, and it worked so well that I have since started multiple other people on this journey, and they are having success. So this isn't medical advice, guys. I'm just a guy who tried this and have also helped multiple other people do it with success. If you're like the typical American, you are consuming a ton of vegetable oil and you probably don't even know it. You're thinking to yourself, well, I'm not, reaching into the cabinet and pulling out a bottle of vegetable oil and pouring it on anything. If you buy anything that's in a package, or a container from the store that has a barcode, you're likely consuming vegetable oil. Yes, there are some packages that don't have it. They're harder to find. It's in everything, guys, and it's not good for you. This is the crazy thing. I think people could really benefit from eliminating the vegetable oil from their diet. If you pick up a label and you see the word canola, corn, soy, cottonseed, sunflower, safflower, these are all vegetable oils, seed oils, commercial PUFAs. They're not good for us, at least not in any quantity beyond the tiniest amount. We need a little tiny bit of it for health. We're talking like 1/10, maybe even less than 1/10 of what the average person gets in a day. Average Americans consuming 40 plus grams. Some estimates are up to 80 grams of vegetable oil a day from the food that they eat. And you're like, well, where am I getting all of this? If you eat foods that come in a package and have a barcode, like I mentioned, chips, cookies, breads, baked goods, flavored coffee creamer, eating out, French fries, fried foods, they're all loaded with it. And you don't have to eat a bunch of it. You can go out and just have a large fry with a burger, and there's polyunsaturated fat, vegetable oil in the bun, a ton of it in the fries, and you've already probably come close to hitting one of those numbers for the whole day. Then you go home and have some, a sandwich and some chips, and boom, you're there. I mean, it doesn't take much for you to hit this massive number of these polyunsaturated fats. So I've outlined before what I eat, what I ate on my journey doing this. Croissants, pints of Haagen-Dazs, mashed potatoes, small amounts of fruit juice daily, 2 5-ounce servings. People freak out over fruit juice. It's going to give me a fatty liver, which I don't have. But anyway, I'm not saying any of those foods that I just listed are healthy. I don't think croissants are healthy. They're refined white flour, carbohydrates. I don't think refined processed foods are healthy. Haagen-Dazs is loaded with sugar. I don't think sugar is a health food. I don't think fruit juice is a health food either. And probably mashed potatoes spike your insulin, too quickly too. So they're not the best choices in the world. But I do believe that if you eliminate vegetable oils and you start eating more healthy, nutrient-dense, saturated fat in your diet, there are tremendous benefits to be had. This is not designed for somebody who's well on their way to eating, the optimal health diet. This is designed for somebody like me who maybe is a little bit, I'm more than a little bit health conscious, but somebody who says, hey, I'd like to try something new. I'd like to get a handle on my weight. I'd like to lose some weight. And, I want to try something different. And I'm not ready to go into one of these super restrictive things. And I'll get to that, because here's the problem. When I was a personal trainer years ago, helping people, working out, they would always ask for nutritional advice, and I would sit down with them and I'd do an interview. I'd ask them about the types of foods that they ate, and I would try to construct something around the things that they told me they liked. And if they didn't tell me anything, that was worth eating that they liked, I would start making suggestions. Do you like this? Do you like this? Do you like this? Until we hit on something that they said, yeah, I like that. Okay. All right. We can put that in. So this is the key thing. And this is what I know for a fact about most people. Diet compliance is the number one thing that gives you success. If you can't stick to whatever it is, it won't work. That's the bottom line. So if someone says the best way to eat, and I honestly, if I had to pick a way that I felt like from a health perspective was the healthiest way you could possibly eat, I'm probably leaning to a nose to tail carnivore. And it doesn't matter. That's where I would lean. If I was going to pick the thing to, have the most health benefits from, that's probably what I would pick. I would probably eliminate foods that gave me insulin spikes during the day, and I would eat a lot of animal source, and I'd eat a lot more than just pieces of meat, like muscle meat, which is what most people think of, because most people are squeamish about all the other stuff that's super good for you. Here's what you need to do. If you increase the nutrient-rich saturated fat like grass-fed butter, grass-fed beef, unrefined cocoa butter, and grass-fed beef tallow, these things have tremendous health benefits, and they also have a lot of nutrients in them that can help your body. So when we're talking about compliance again, if you've been on something in the past and you said, you wanted to try something and it was like, oh man, this sounds really good, but 3 weeks in, you're out. I mean, I remember at work a couple years ago, a bunch of us were going to do the Whole30. So this is a diet where for 30 days you eat nothing but whole foods that are like a single ingredient, like a potato, an egg, whatever. And it was probably about 10 days into this 30 days and there was about 14 of us, if I remember correctly. It was something in the teens, 12, 13, 14, whatever, of us that were doing this. It was 10 days in and everybody had tapped out but me and one other girl. We were the only ones that went the full 30 days on the Whole30. So they couldn't do it. They're addicted to all these, vegetable oil carbohydrate combinations, and I get it. They're delicious. I mean, tortilla chips at a Mexican restaurant with salsa. Those taste great, but are they good for you? No, not at all. And that's the thing. If you want to make this healthy, it's easy. It's really, really simple, guys. Eliminate the refined processed carbohydrates. Things made with white flour, wheat flour, sugar, high fructose corn syrup. Get rid of those things. Just take them out. Lower your carb intake overall. Don't eat that many carbs. Eat some super nutrient dense foods, animal foods, like liver, wild game, wild caught fish, shellfish, pastured eggs, or eggs that you can get from someone you know. This is the thing. A lot of people are like, I don't like liver. You know what? I'm not a huge fan either, but I found a trick. Liver is one of the most nutrient dense foods on earth, like by weight. A half ounce of liver a day supplies 100% of 3 or 4 of your major nutrients. What I do is when I make my 2 pounds of ground beef, I cut 3 ounces of beef liver and I dice it up real fine and I mix it in with the 2 pounds of ground beef. I've already got the garlic, the salt, the pepper, the onions, all that stuff in there. And when it's mixed in, I don't even know it's there. But when I put it into chronometer, I still don't know how you say that, I'm maxing out a bunch of my micronutrients, vitamins, minerals, things that you need. So eat whole foods that are single ingredient foods. Track what you eat so you have an idea of what you're taking in. You don't need to track what you eat forever, but most people have no clue. It's like, I used to have the thought, and like a lot of people do, you go to Jason's Deli and you make this huge salad with the whole rainbow. You've got radishes and peppers and onions and greens and all this stuff there. And I'm not going to get into the whole plants have lectins and they're going to kill you, stuff that some people are crazy about. Maybe they will, that's why I said if I had to pick a way, I'd probably choose nose to tail carnivore. But I'm eating this big salad, believing 99.9% of the rest of the world that eating a big salad is good for you, right? And I'm going over there and I'm getting a ladle of dressing to cover this massive mound of vegetables that I put on my plate that are supposed to be really good for me. Have all these phytonutrients and vitamins and minerals and fiber and all this stuff that's, supposed to be great. And I'm covering it with not one, but probably 2 ladles of dressing. I just hit the American total for polyunsaturated fat vegetable oil right there. I just ruined my whole salad by pouring that garbage on top of it. So I probably erased I didn't erase all. I'm still getting some of the vitamins and minerals out of that. And heck, who knows, with oxalates in vegetables, maybe you're not even absorbing them. But the point is that if you track what you eat for a while and you get this thing working for you, you're in a situation where you're in control now and hey, this is something that I can eat and this is a quantity that I can eat and it works. And also I've looked and I get my vitamins and my minerals, I'm doing good on all of the things that my body needs. So I think of this diet for some people as possibly a gateway to better eating. Here I am doing this. I've lost 45 pounds. In fact, when I did my first video a couple weeks back on this, I was right around 215 and I said I wanted to get down to 205. I'm 207 as of today. So in a couple weeks, just slid right on down. And I'm still eating Haagen-Dazs and I'm still eating croissants. But a word about that in just a second. So I am planning to do an experiment where, because I want to eat healthier, I want to eat more nutrient dense foods. I want to eat, things that are good for me. I want to live a long time. I don't want to have health problems. So I'm going to do an experiment where I remove the refined processed carbs from what I eat. And I'm going to run that for a while. Who knows? I might feel so great after I do that I do it forever. That's the point, right? As I started this, I started it for weight loss. as I kept reading what Brad was writing and other things people were sending me to, I found out that not only do polyunsaturated fats or vegetable oils make you fat, make you unhealthy, but they do all sorts of other horrible things to you. They're very, very damaging, and they get oxidized. Like if it's already in a bottle in a store, it's oxidized. I mean, it's already been processed, it's already been squeezed out of its natural environment, it's already been run through heat and light and exposed to all this stuff. It's oxidized vegetable oil, and you're getting a whole bunch of oxidative inflammatory stress from taking that into your body, and that's not good for you. So anyway, that's the point. So that's an experiment I'm going to be running. After I do that, I might do another experiment. I might do nose to tail carnivore for a while. I can't visualize myself eating that way permanently. But who knows? I mean, maybe I do it for a while and I say, you know what, this is great, and I keep doing it. That's the same thing that I encourage you guys to do. So some of the things that I eat, I'm not recommending them to you. I'm not telling anyone you need to eat Haagen-Dazs. In fact, my buddy Rob, who's lost close to 50 pounds on this, he doesn't eat the Haagen-Dazs. I mean, he has a couple of times, but in the last 6 months, I've been eating it 4 or 5 nights a week, a whole pint. He's not eating it. I only ate 2 or 3 eggs a week because way back when I looked and noticed that eggs had, polyunsaturated fat in them, for lack of a better way of putting it, vegetable oil in the egg. And I was eating 2 or 3 a week. Well, somehow at the beginning of this whole thing, I told him you can have 2 a day. And I guess I never, got back to him on the fact that they had a little extra poly in them. Well, guess what? He ate 2 every day. He still lost close to 50 pounds. So apparently, the good, healthy pastured eggs aren't bad, even though they have a little bit of poly in them. So that's the thing. I didn't eat eggs. He did. Still worked. I ate Haagen-Dazs. He didn't. Still worked. We both eat the croissant. We're keeping in the spirit of the diet. Plus, croissants are delicious, guys. I mean, they really are. Do I think they're healthy for you? No. I don't think croissants are a health food. I also don't think Haagen-Dazs loaded with sugar is a health food either. But I like it and I eat it and it works. But I'm going to eliminate those things and see what happens. So I look forward to talking to you guys again soon. I got several more videos that I'm working on, and I'll bring those to you soon. So if you like this video, click subscribe. And if you think somebody could use the information, share it with a friend. Thanks.